At 44, he's now Senegal's youngest ever president. Former tax collector Bassirou Diomaye Faye had run instead of the leader of his party, Ousmane Sonko, barred from the race due to criminal indictments. Up until a political amnesty 3 weeks ago, Faye had also been behind bars. He then swept to victory in the first round on a ticket of institutional reform.
I am aware that the results from the polls express a strong desire for systemic change. The Senegalese people are engaged in the construction of a fair Senegal, a prosperous Senegal, in an Africa that's progressing. And in the process of constructing this new Senegal, I will work tirelessly to preserve the peace and towards national cohesion.
And for more, let's cross to New York City. Mamadou Diouf, professor of African Studies and History at Columbia University, joins us. Thank you for speaking with us here on France 24.
Thank you for having me.
Before I ask you about the new president, I just want to hark back to the last time you and I spoke. It was when the the former president now, Macky Sall, tried to suspend the rules and hang on to power until December. Did you think we'd get to this outcome this quickly?
I don't think that we got to this outcome so quickly. But what is interesting is, if you remember, one of my predictions was to say the president will try to hang on and find any possible, if you want, alternative to the very fact that the Constitution actually say that he was not allowed to run for a third term. But what we can say that Senegalese has been, I think, mobilized to make sure that they will save what they consider as an important achievement, this democratic system, which is quite unique.
It's the third time since the year 2000, where we've had these sort of touch and go moments, and in the end, the chips fall on the side of what the ballot box decided.
Absolutely, that what Senegal has been experimenting is why I say is a laboratory since almost 1974, is to find a way to set up a system which actually could accommodate not only the citizen, but also address their interests. I think it's fascinating to listen to the young new Senegalese president again talking about systematic change. And again, if you have been following the situation, their target was the system, and they would like to dismantle the system which has governed the Senegal since 1960.
Dismantle the system up to a point. Bassirou Diomaye Faye ran as a more radical figure, but he was conciliatory at times during that inauguration speech. Of course, he knows he doesn't have a majority in parliament.
Yeah, but it's also the very nature of politics. You are more offensive when you are in the opposition, but when you won, you have to govern a society in which people have a different opinion. The fact is they have to move from an offensive perspective, which was imposed by the very fact that Macky Sall regime was the most corrupted regime Senegal has ever had, the most authoritarian regime, and also the most clannish regime. And battling such a regime, I think, needed from time to time to be a kind of, to adopt an approach which was much more, I think, offensive. And if you compare Pastef with Tahaw, Diomaye and Sonko with Khalifa Sall, which was one of the most important politicians of these last 4 years, it's obvious that one thing he has paid was that at some point he tried to be more conciliatory and to be more, head of state. I think this is an important aspect also, the perception of the Senegalese citizen of the actually struggle which was engaged.
And so who's going to be calling the shots? Is it Faye, the new president, or is it the leader of his party, Ousmane Sonko?
People are raising such a question, but I don't think that it is a problem. Sonko is the president of PASTEF. He is going to play an important role as the president of PASTEF, and he is going to keep engaging with Bassirou Diomaye Faye. But it's absolutely clear, and I think that Sonko will agree on how to run the country because it's Diomaye who was elected. Sonko was behind, and it's thanks to Sonko he was elected. But the fact is that today he is the president of the Senegalese. Sonko is not. It doesn't mean that Sonko will not be associated to what is going to go. And I expect from them, because, they have shown that they are smart, is why they were able to win each of the battle they engaged with Maki, from actually the free terms to the imposing the elections.
So, so you're saying, and this will be my last question, that they're more pragmatic than they claimed on the campaign trail. What does that mean when it comes to relations with France?
Well, it's the same thing. I think they will be much more plunged to dealing with domestic issues. But whatever association domestic issues has with international relations, they are going to engage with. As I say, France is a partner, and they want to make sure that equality is what is organizing the partnership. And I think it won't be a drama. It's just one step in Senegal recovering its sovereignty, economically, politically, and culturally. And this is a very big step which will participate in reinventing the so-called Francophonie.
Mamadou Diouf, so many thanks for speaking with us from New York City.
Thank you for having me.